Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brain.
Elton John was wrong. Tuesday night's all right for fighting. And we're here with the Fighting Three final guys. Jack Glory Days Campese.
Bring it.
And Jason Glorious Brandt.
I'm shocked we all picked Glory Hole for our name.
And I am Hunter Mop, that Glory Hole Shay. Because tonight we're doing, I mean, this should be a subgenre of horror movies, the Glory Hole Horrors. Rebekah McKendry's Glorious. So that's our main feature. But we'll discuss other nonsense before we get there. If you hear a lot going on in my background, I don't know if you will. I'm in a house, a rented house with 10 other people who are half are drunk and half are stupid. So there's a lot of screaming and laughing and whatever. So just ignore it if you hear it. But
that's your on the exit.
When I posted on Twitter about what our next movie was, I said a movie that takes place in a bathroom. If this is not in our wheelhouse, I don't know what is.
Yeah, what can we review if we can't review this? And I will let you know, I've been drinking so long, I am now urinating clear. So this is the state I'm in right now.
That's always a good sign.
It is a good sign. So let's start, as we start every week off. Well, not every week because we screw it up a lot, but we have drinking words. And I'm going to read the drinking words. I'm feeling up to it because I'm drinking.
All right.
So thanks to Sheridan Bradford, who is not getting abducted in a hole in Wyoming this week. Jack, your words are long, tentacle, and liver. Do you still have a liver?
I might.
A little bit. It grows back. My words are bloody, Lovecraft, and hole. Oh, that's kind of close. Jason,
hole.
I've got a bloody hole. Jason, words are lightning, cosmic, and Simmons. But it should be Richard Simmons, not J.K. Simmons. And our bonus words are glorious, bathroom, and shudder. As in either shake or, the channel that we don't get any money from.
They really, basically all we do at this point is review shit on Shudder.
Yeah. God forbid they kick us $50 But whatever.
I think every horror podcast is saying the same thing.
Yeah, really. Whatever. So I know none of us have anything to promote at this point. We're just promoting the fact that it's summertime and who cares, right?
Fair enough.
All right. So let's get into Jack Campese's award-winning, if you live in a very small town that has no newspapers, news.
It's the news. Yay.
I would like to ask you to get your filthy hands off me, you damn dirty ape.
Oh, boy.
Hit me with something good.
There is going to be another Planet of the Apes movie. One of the kids from It is going to be the new Andy Serkis. He's going to be the new ape. Owen Teague.
Really? Okay.
It looks like it's going to be a continuation of the Matt Reeves. So they're not rebooting it. They're going to pick it up.
That's awesome. Those are great movies.
Those are good movies.
See if they are they going to go back and redo the original Planet of the Apes in this world, or is that going to become canon or something?
I don't know.
You know what? I'm interested to see where it goes because I'm an ape maniac and I was ready to hate those movies and I really like them. So
yeah, I liked all three of them. They're going to keep, as long as they're not rebooting it again, just keep that going. I'm interested.
Unless they go underground and they have the freaking nuclear bomb and the weird psychic people.
I bailed after when they didn't bring Tim Burton back. I was done with Planet of the Apes. So I have standards.
That was a great movie.
He sabotaged that on purpose. Good for him.
He did. I don't. know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
story.
He said if you can't understand what that, if you don't know what that movie means, either do I, because I didn't want to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I get it.
I love when you hear
Why-
this after the fact. You're like, okay, I went to the theater, dropped $15-20 on this stupid thing, and then years later he's like, yeah, I hated that crap.
Why did he agree to do it? Just wanted a payday?
He needed the money. Yeah. I guess too many cooks were like spoiling the brew, and he was like, "Oh, fuck this! I'll just do whatever." And then you got whatever. You got a human who crash lands every time, but you got a monkey who can land perfectly twice. So, that's what you get.
The problem with that was it looked so cool from the trailer and the concept
Looked
art. You're like,
amazing.
oh man, this looks like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Never cast your girlfriend as an ape.
Words to live by.
The next piece of news is that Insidious 5 has wrapped filming. Patrick Wilson is directing and starring in it.
Oh, he directs it too?
And it's going to be like 10 years after Insidious 2. And it's his character and Rose Byrne are taking their son to like college or something like that. I have totally lost track of Insidious movies. I don't remember where I left off or what I liked and what I didn't. It's all a blur.
I fell asleep in the last one, so I don't know how it ended.
Watch first one.
What?
I'm part 2. I think I might have only watched the first one.
Oh, no, they're pretty good. The first one is great.
I can't remember.
I know they did like a prequel one where because they wanted to use what's her name?
Yes, Lynn Shay.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite one.
I'll wait for cable on this one. I mean, that probably won't go to theater anyway. But like I said, I have no idea where I left off. So
I will bet you all this is going into theaters. This is not going to be a streaming exclusive. And I have 2 kids in this house right now who are very excited because they love Patrick Wilson. So there's an
Excited for
audience.
that, but one of them's never seen Predator.
No. Well, that's true. But they've seen Insidious. Predator's old. It's old. It's 30-something years old.
It's awesome.
It's older than they are.
Yeah, who
But they
watches
grew up with
movies older than them?
Insidious.
I don't know. I'm going to end
Get
on
off my lawn, Insidious.
You're not going to believe this, but I have good news about Halloween Ends.
It's not coming out?
ends.
It's coming out, but like the last one, they're going to put it in the theaters and on Peacock, so you don't have to go to the theater to see it.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Why are they doing that? That's not
I
a
have
good
Peacock
sign.
this time.
Because Jamie Lee Curtis just did like a video thing where she was like, we know that some people don't want to go to the theater and some do, so you should go see it once in the theater and then once at home and then go back.
I like it because now I don't have to go to the theater.
I think Peacock also is like, hey, I mean, I don't know the last time I watched Peacock, so.
I watch it all the time for The Office, and Black Phone was on there, so that might be the new destination.
I don't know if that's a good sign.
I thought it was good news
Make a
because
shitload of money.
it must have worked for them. And like I said, Peacock must be like, we need to get some eyeballs on us. So
Wait, so the last one came out on Peacock at the same time?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I didn't have it, so I had to go to the movies.
not Peacock.
Peacock?
I got that and then I kept it because the Psych movie was like a couple of weeks after that. So I just kept it. And now I'm paying $5 a month for friggin' Peacock. I want to watch Yellowstone though. So I think a lot of that's on Peacock.
Watch it for Yellowstone, and it's got The Office, which you can have
The
on
Office is on
24 hours a
TV
day.
like every day though.
No, it's not like Peacock. You can watch it 24 hours a day.
I've been watching Seinfeld 24 hours a day. It's awesome.
Dolores.
That, my friends, is all the news that's fit to print.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow. I feel like that
Surgical.
went by in a breeze. All right, let's get on to the dumb crap that we talk about before the main feature.
We have such sights to show you.
I like how Chad Lutsky has said, when Halloween Ends comes out, I'm coming on that episode. That's pretty presumptuous. We have not had a meeting, so
I mean, things about it.
we'll take it into consideration.
I'm actually curious what it feels to me, just from talking to people about that most people didn't like that movie very much, and it feels like the further away everyone gets, the less they like it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if they're afraid this next one would not do that well, because this one was a disappointment.
This, you know what? That might be an episode we got to get Tim on, because he'll love it no matter how crappy it is.
It can be against Tim and Chad.
Yeah. And we'll just make fun of both of them.
Beautiful.
I'm digging this. All right.
People could use that when they go to bed to try and lull them to sleep.
Sweaty balls. Jason, you're always my favorite leadoff hitter.
Well, speaking of stupid crap that we watch before the main feature, I watched the Gwar documentary that I think Chad told us about.
What?
Can you not hear me well?
For once, your internet is terrible. We win.
Really?
Yes. Sucker.
I wonder why.
I
watched the This Is Gwar documentary.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
I don't... Is my internet getting any better?
It's a little choppy.
That's so weird. You guys
Jack's
are
wiping
perfectly
the flop sweat off.
You guys are perfectly fine on my end. That's strange.
I'm so fine. Baby.
You're so hot. All right. Anyway, Gwar, I don't like their music. I've never, but I saw a concert once. Not one of their full crazy ones, like a half-assed one, and the lead singer was just wrecked on stage. I mean, bad. Oh, there aren't any photos from this. But Chad said it was good. I thought, you know what, I'd be kind of curious to see some behind-the-scenes stuff on this. And this is a great documentary. Really? Even if you don't like Gwar like me, you don't give a shit. It's really interesting to see how this band even came to be. It's just a bunch of art students. And the lead singer is the only musician at the beginning. And they just kind of built this crazy-ass theatrical show with all this blood and this dumbass story about the intergalactic... I don't even remember what the hell, like metalheads or something. I don't know. It was just insane. So I really, really ended up liking this. It was fascinating to watch.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
At Scares That Care, there was a guy dressed like Gwar who did like karaoke. And I think you were convinced that he was really from Gwar.
No, that was not me. I remember you guys mentioning him, but I never saw that guy.
Oh, somebody from our group was convinced that guy was really from Gwar. And so I guess you wouldn't know then.
No. I mean, even if I'd seen him, I would have no idea, you know. But of all the original members, I don't know how many are actually left. They go through, people drop in and out of the band all the time.
Who would know?
Yeah, you know, the lead singer's dead now, so I don't even know what direction they're going. But it was really watch. I recommend this for people to check out. It's a good time. It's crazy.
I'm reading Grady Hendrix's book right now, We Sold Our Souls, which is like this ode to heavy metal. And it's the whole book, there's a running thread of how bands like Slipknot and Gwar like fucking ruin metal. What posers they are. So it's really funny.
I read that book. I don't remember that part. It's been years.
Yeah, it runs all throughout. It's very different from his other stuff, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, Glory Days, Springsteen.
Glory Days. So on Hulu, I watched a movie called The Cursed. This is a 2022.
Oh, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
The original title was 8 for Silver, but they changed it.
God, it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm glad they changed it.
because a lot of people are the opposite. They like the other one. I don't care. It's kind of a werewolf movie, but there's a little more to it. So it's like under the werewolf umbrella, but it's also kind of different. It is a good movie, but it's
A
not
good werewolf movie?
It's got some problems. So I'm not gonna. I really liked it, but there are some problems with it. So basically, it's like, let's see, 19th century France. There's a village, and there's some gypsies who are claiming that the land is theirs. The landowners and them get into a tussle with them, and then there is something that is maybe supernatural, causing some problems with the natives there. This movie has some really cool scenes. I really liked it a lot, but it's got some pacing problems. It's probably 10 minutes too long. They pack a lot into the mythology, so there's a lot. So I think when you watch it, there's some, maybe they go to the dream sequence a little too much, but dreams are important in it. So if you watch it, there's going to be a couple of things that you're like, but overall, I think you're going to like it. It's a, who the hell's it? The guy who was the bad guy in Logan, Boyd Holbrook.
Oh, yeah.
He's really good in it. And actually, I think the woman from Yellowstone, what's her name?
Beth?
Kelly Riley.
Oh, I love her.
She's great in it. So it's on Hulu. And I've been watching, this movie had been like new release, and it was like $19 for the longest time or whatever. And all of a sudden one day I'm like, oh, it's on Hulu. I think it's a really good watch. It's probably going to be one of my favorite movies of the year.
No way.
Wow.
But like I said, there's some problems with it. So, if I was giving it a score, I'd have to take off a couple of points here and there. But overall, I enjoyed it a lot.
It's not possibly a remake of the Christina Ricci cursed werewolf movie,
No.
is it? Just wondering. It's been long enough.
Sounds like the party's raging behind you.
Oh, God. I can't stop them. That's just impossible. There might have been a lot of gambling with minors, too, going on at one point. Which it's gone off the rails. It's Tuesday. We've got many more days to go.
There's this set of, like, fangs that are made out of silver that come into play. If you look at, like, the pictures from it, that's a pretty cool thing.
All right.
Okay.
And there's some really awesome, like, creature stuff in it.
On Hulu.
I
never thought we'd see the day when we're talking about good movies on Hulu. This is
I've never even heard of it.
freaking me out.
It's surprising.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? People want to watch something tonight when I'm done with this. Maybe that'll be the movie.
All right. Does my internet sound less shit?
Less shit, yes.
Okay, good.
It's less shit, as they say in Bulgaria, where you're headed and never coming home from. So I went on Shudder one day and I saw that the Salem's Lot original miniseries was on there. And I can't remember the last time I watched it. And then I thought, you know what? I wish Jack was in this bed next to me instead of my wife. And we were watching Salem's Lot together. So I turned it on.
was with you in spirit, baby.
And I held her hand and I just thought, oh, I wish his hand was rougher.
I would look, I'd gaze into your eyes and just go, look at me.
Look at me. Would you scratch the window? Scare me. So this is like, 3 hours long? And I said, all right, we'll watch it over a couple of nights. And my wife had never seen it. And I had forgotten Toby Hooper. Toby Hooper.
The legend.
Hubie Marston.
Directed this. This movie is really good. I mean, really good, especially for a TV movie. It's tense when there are bodies floating outside windows, scratching on the glass. It is downright terrifying. I will say David Soul is an asshole. Like his character is just such a schmuck. I'm like, why would anybody fall in love with him, follow him, listen to him, whatever. But Bonnie Bedelia, unrecognizable, is young Bonnie. But let me tell you, this really holds up. I had a great time with this. My wife loved it, was terrified by certain parts of it. Really good cast. This is like before the 80s. So horror movies, especially in the 70s, it was also mostly middle-aged and older, like past middle-aged actors and actresses doing these movies. And there was a little bit of gravitas to that, you know? And then it became in the 80s when the slashers hit. It's all like
James Mason.
James Mason.
So awesome.
But what's his name? Is Straker?
Straker, yeah.
Straker. I'll talk about him later. But seeing James Mason, you were like, wow, have you drank so much that you now have to do a TV movie in America? The answer is yes, you have. But again, he was great. So you get these people that are awesome. You got Jimmy James at 16 and James was he 15 and 16? Were those the shows that he did?
James at 15, I remember. Did they change the...
And then he went James at 16 and it was over. And then he became like a heroin addict and all kinds of stuff and became a mess.
So him and the kid who played one of the kids at the window, the second one, the older brother, they were going to be at Chiller this year.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I may have to get a picture with those guys.
Oh yeah, that might be worthy of it because this is a really fun movie. I will talk about the book later, which I've read the book. I've read the book more than I've watched the movie, but yeah, damn, this movie is really good. Because I wanted to watch it again also because I know that the remake is coming out next spring, I think. So I just wanted to kind of reacquaint myself with it. And
you want to borrow my Rob Lowe version?
No, I don't ever want to see the Rob Lowe version. But if you can beat Toby Hooper, good luck.
I think Salem's Lot may be the scariest vampire movie.
There are moments where it's absolutely terrifying. You're right.
When that came out, like a generation of kids were scarred from those kids at the window.
Yes. Yeah, because it's creepy as hell.
Barlow's in that movie for like 90 seconds and is one of the most iconic vampires, ever.
And, in 70, when did it come out? 78, 79, 80? So as a kid, if you'd never seen Nosferatu, which for odds are you hadn't, that was new and terrifying to you. Like those, oh yeah, we've seen that a million times, but it's still scary as hell. So if you have Shudder, I highly suggest you check out Salem's Lot.
How does the pacing hold up?
You know what? It was for us. We could have watched it all in one night, but we just ran out of time. So I said, all right, let's do the next hour tomorrow night.
Okay.
I never felt bored. I was really into it.
It's one of those movies that came out right around the time when they were kind of really dialing in pacing of this. I feel like I watched this when I was like early teens, but I have absolutely no memory of it. But that runtime is a lot.
Yeah, don't be afraid of it. Just think of all the crap that you watch. It's fine.
I can't wait to talk about the book with you.
This isn't crap, though.
I can't wait to talk with you about the book because I think this is a really good adaptation of the book.
Yes.
So it's slow, like the book.
Well, no. Like they made the changes. They need the changes they needed to make. That's what I'll say.
Nice. Sounds good. It's definitely better than what I watched, which I forgot to mention a couple weeks ago. Shock 'em Dead. You guys ever heard of this?
What? No.
It stars Tracy Lords.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my daughter loves. Oh, Shock 'em Dead. Yes, I've seen that. Yes.
It's one of those good old rock and roll horror movies. But shit.
I have a daughter. My youngest daughter is a Tracy Lords completist for horror and sci-fi movies.
Why?
She just thinks she's so terrible. She's awesome.
This is the typical story of a door to a voodoo priestess who grants him some kind of wish to be a heavy metal guitar god guy.
Look at that.
Wakes
hair.
up from a nightmare with this hair, living in what appears to be his grandmother's house. It's supposed to be this mansion, but he wakes up and in the bedroom, there's like a library around his waterbed. It's very strange. It must have just been the biggest house they could get to shoot on location for.
Right.
And then he finds out the trick is he has to kill people and rub chests with them to suck their souls out. Then that's his food.
What?
Yes. This movie is insane. It's really bad. And I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was fun because it's so bad.
Yeah.
So this is definitely worth checking out. Tracy Lords does not in it, which I expected at the beginning, and then I later found out she doesn't get naked in any of her mainstream movies.
No, she does not.
For I think first one, and that was it.
She gave us enough.
Tell you got to be real careful searching the internet for Tracy Lords.
Yes,
very careful. So this movie's ridiculous. Like, this is supposed to be his rocker house. I don't know if we can get another angle, but yeah, there's just like a library in almost every room at this house. It's very strange, but it's fun. It's very, very bad. So if you can find a copy,
dude, how did you see it? Did somebody send you this movie?
Somebody sent it to me to watch.
Oh my, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it came on a Blu-ray, but it's so shitty. I was convinced it was shot on VHS. 4:3, just horrible quality. And apparently they shot it on film, but to save money, they edited it on tape and released it that way. So it just looks like they shot it on VHS.
That's terrible.
It's the dumbest thing. It's perfectly fitting of this dumbass movie.
I agree. I think that's awesome. That's the way to do it.
Let's spend all that money to shoot on film and then edit on VHS.
You can get it on Blu-ray for $24.99 on.
You get the DVD, it's going to look exactly.
By the way, Jack, you and I would know it's starring Troy Donahue. Remember they sang about him in Grease?
Troy Donahue.
Look at you, Troy Donahue.
Oh my God.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, you don't need to. Trust me, it's all right.
There's a
for bad movie horror movie metal aficionados. Check it out.
Or Tracy Lords completists.
That's like a Tim Meyer drilling down on the genre.
No,
so
right now
you like
he's jerking off like a spider monkey right now watching it.
Does your completist daughter have The Profiler? Was it Tracy Lords in that TV show, The Profiler?
I guarantee you she's seen everything with Tracy Lords. She watches every like sci-fi movie she's ever done, like everything.
What a strange obsession.
It is. That's how I know she's my kid. Big dumb shit and get obsessed.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. I got two movies that are just like unbelievable. I'll start with Galaxy of Terror, 1981. Hunter, didn't you just watch this like a few months ago?
I think I watched that during COVID, like the early parts when I was just doing nothing.
Said that, I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen that since like the 80s.
Yeah.
So I need to watch it. I forgot so much about that movie and didn't mean anything to me.
No, you're still muted. I think there's a delay when you turn it off.
Yeah.
Hit it again.
Can you hear me now?
Yep,
yes.
Gotcha. I think there's a couple second delay for it.
Some of the people in it didn't mean anything to me when I saw it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, oh, because this is Aaron Moran, which was Joni from Happy Days.
Yep.
Ray Walston, Mr. Hond, Robert Englund, and Sid Haig.
I know, an insane cast.
Insane cast.
What was the name of it?
Galaxy of Terror.
Oh,
isn't
Jason,
that the movie where like the interior of the spaceship, they used Big Mac boxes for the walls and painted them? I think that was the one.
I don't know, because there's a lot of like pipes and stuff like that and wires.
Yeah.
And then there's this big room with lights. It almost looks like Logan's Runny.
Excellent cover.
Oh, it's a great movie, man.
This movie is so great. You got to see it. It's this
and Eddie Albert.
It's not the Eddie Albert.
No, Edward.
Edward.
I gotta be careful there.
This is some astronauts are on like one planet and they're sent to another planet to investigate and do a search and rescue for a crashed ship or something like that. They're sent by this master guy who has like a glowing red head. And then when they go there, it kind of like their deepest fears are manifesting and they're getting attacked. I mean,
It's
this
Alien meets Nightmare on Elm Street.
movie, and a little Event Horizon.
Yes.
With low budget. Roger Corman is the producer of this.
Can't
Yep.
tell from that screenshot.
This movie is a B movie delight. And I mean, like I said, I've been meaning to go back and watch it. I just
Yes, see those
there you
walls?
go. Yeah.
Those are Big Mac boxes.
That looks like Big Mac boxes.
They are.
Stare.
I was reading something on Corman. That's what they were using.
Yeah, it's so there is a scene where a like worm monster like attacks a woman and kind of sucks her clothes off and then humps her to death.
I'm listening.
Corman
And I read
giving us
about
what
it
we
later,
want.
and I guess the studio wanted a sex scene or boobs or something, so they found this actress who was willing to do it. And I mean, I'm watching this going, I did not remember this. And I'm like, oh my God, this is spectacular.
By the studio, do you mean Roger Corman?
Yes. We need boobs.
And it's funny because this was one of those ones where Aaron Moran, you were like, oh, look at Joni. She was kind of pretty. You know,
That's a long time ago.
long time ago. Practical effects, ridiculous movie. There's esoteric stuff in there with I can't even explain it.
It's a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, it is. You will not regret watching this movie. It is a B movie paradise.
Is it so bad it's good fun?
No, I think it's kind of good.
It's like a Joe Bob.
Or... Okay.
Like this is Joe Bob. Joe Bob should watch this like every other week.
Darcy, put Galaxy of Terror in.
Nice. I have never seen this.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
Awesome. I gotta check this out.
it's great. All right, so I'm going to jump over to Salem's Lot, the book. By the way, did you know Salem's Lot is short for Jerusalem's Lot?
I did know that.
So I still stand by what I have said that if Stephen King was named, I don't know, Richard Dinkwater, and he brought an editor this book, they were like, you can go fuck yourself, enjoy your time in Maine. Because it's slow. It's but he's building an entire world. And the main character is not as much as a douchebag as David Soul felt he should be in his performance. There's a lot of differences in this book. Even in a 3-hour miniseries, you can't build the world that he built. And look, there is definitely like young guy feeling his oats. I've made a lot of money on Carrie. I can do whatever I want. So there's some sections in that book that can be just thrown in the garbage, pitched right out. But actually, this time reading them, I enjoyed all of it. Straker is very different. He's nothing like James Mason. He's bald
So's
and he's
Barlow.
scary and strong. And Barlow is not Nosferatu. But Barlow's not in the book much either. So in that sense, they kind of keep to it. The Bonnie Bedelia character, I can't remember her name. She has a kind of a different arc. Susan, that's right. She has a different arc in the book than the movie. So the kind of glorious thing is you can enjoy both as their own entities. Really, I mean, both are very. I think the book is very good, but I don't think it will play well for a young audience. I don't think they'll stick with it.
I think some of the stuff that they pulled out of the book for the movie are good things because there's some ridiculous stuff with the vampires, like the 2 vampires that get married.
I mean, there's dumb stuff for sure, but
he's trying to make Peyton Place with vampires. He said
he was spinning a main yarn.
So and when Toby Hooper took it, like he was like, okay, the climax of the movie is different in the book than in the movie, and he's like, it just makes more sense to do it the way I did it for at least for the movie.
Right, which is funny because I thought the climax kind of was anticlimactic in the movie. I thought it was more the escalating tension was better in the book, but that's in most cases. I mean, but they're different mediums, so you have to make changes for both. Like I said, both are enjoyable, and you will get a different experience with both, but you will walk away from each one, the book and the miniseries, satisfied. For sure. And I'm not a vampire guy. And I watched it and then I read it right after. So even spent more money. I think I have owned this book 7 different freaking times. And I keep losing it and buying it again and again.
I still think I have my first I do.
I
haven't read this since 90s probably. It's one of those I liked, but I'll probably I can read it again, but it's a good book.
Oh.
I mean, King, even bad King back then was still good shit.
Yes. I'd rather read Salem's Lot in Braille than it ever again.
Shut your mouth.
I will pick up Salem's Lot sometimes and just read certain passages. Like I'll look up the part where they go to Straker's, where they go to Barlow's house. Or, like I go to the good parts. I love to go and reread those. It's so awesome. But I'll skip, the whole preamble.
There's a lot of exposition that's not needed, but it's showing the style that he's building, because this is an early book of his, and it's the style he's building this world and these characters, where like he can mention a character on page 200 and re-mention them on 500, and you go, oh, I know exactly who that is. So that's where he was kind of building that muscle.
Is it Father Callahan? Is that the name?
Yeah.
He uses that character in his Dark Tower series, and it's excellent.
Which I have only read the first book in that series. That's the one I didn't like it at all.
When Father Callahan showed up, I was like, what? Like, what?
Really?
And it's awesome. It's really well done.
All right.
Salem's Lot would dig the shit out of when that guy shows up.
Awesome. So yeah, there you go. Same thing, 2 different ways. Ingest them both like a vampire.
Nice. I don't have anything else.
What about, I know Jack's had something.
Well, I watched a low budget movie from the 80s. So I decided to go to Tubi and watch the next Tubi original from 2022. Shark Side of the Moon.
God almighty.
From our friends at the Asylum.
Oh, only good shit comes out of there.
Only the most entertaining.
I believe they're probably the same ones who did that Titanic 666.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
It is.
So this one is, decades ago, the Russians have genetically engineered these shark men who are like, you ever see the Suicide Squad, the Sylvester Stallone shark guy, King Shark?
Yeah.
They kind of look like that.
Oh, so they're just ripping it off.
Holy cow.
And there's a whole army of them, and they break loose. So the Russians managed to get them into a space shuttle and send them to the moon.
Oh, of course.
And then fast forward to modern times, and the Americans are going to the moon, and they have a crash landing because some things go wrong, and they encounter these genetically modified sharks and some other people on the moon who, thanks to science, like can walk around the moon with just like, like those oxygen tanks where you just have a, like the girl from Bates Motel who had like the air thing in her.
Yes.
Nostrils. Like with that, like walking around, like it's chainmail on their head and that to walk around on the moon.
Awesome.
Wow.
So, I'm not going to tell you whether this is good or bad because you know what you're getting.
I don't think you need to.
This is Sci-Fi Channel on Tubi. The thing I will say is Galaxy of Terror is mostly practical effects, and we're talking about McDonald's boxes. This is like all blue screen and digital, computer.
Yeah. Does any of it look even representable?
It's just like when you're watching it, you just know it's people like sitting on like a cardboard box going like, and I'm like, man, I miss practical effect low budget movies. They're just so much more fun than.
There's a charm to them. This shit now is just like, just doesn't work.
But it's too easy. That's the thing. There's no like effort.
If you're a bad shark completist,
If you're a bad shark Tracy Lords completist,
Yes.
this is your movie.
Go get yourself on Tubi and watch yourself some. I'd like to be in the room where they're just like with the writers' room. They're like, okay, what are all the words that rhyme with shark, and what movies can we make?
Jesus, this sounds. Did they look any good at any point?
They talk. They look okay. It's Sci-Fi Channel level, like ice spiders or
This is the
three-headed
kind of
shark
stuff that
attack.
drives me crazy. I like when somebody tries to make a good movie and it's a misfire. This shit is like, what the fuck? Shark Men on the Moon? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, who's getting paid for this? Well, nobody. I know that much.
Well, I just wonder, like, our 15-year-olds, when we were kids, we were going to the store and looking for cheesy movies. Are like the young horror fans finding this stuff and going, "Oh my god, I saw Shark Side of the Moon. It's awesome." Like, maybe this is their.
Maybe.
I will
so
have
bad
to
it's
ask
good.
the 20-somethings in my house
Maybe.
if they're not passed out when I'm done.
God.
So yeah, I did. I got all the way through for this show. I took the bullet and watched Shark Side of the Moon.
Well, good for you.
Wow.
And I think it's exactly what we think it would be. if you haven't had enough with Shark Week, Shark Side
I
of the
wasn't
Moon.
disappointed because I knew going in what I was getting. And
Well, that says nothing. That's like going
it
to the
delivered
colonoscopy.
exactly what
I
I
wasn't
expected.
disappointed. I thought I'd have a
Right.
camera up my ass, and I did. There we go. All right, so we are getting ready for our main feature, which is the glorious movie called Glorious. So I want you to cut a hole in the nearest wall next to you and maybe put something special inside it. Here we go.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
We are excusing Jack from having to rap about this movie. In fact, I'll give you a pass for the rest of the year. I think Prey last week. I think you might want to drop the mic. I don't know. If you want to pick it up later, that's fine.
When the mood hits me, I'll do it.
Yeah, there you go. So, are you up for describing Glorious?
Yeah, a guy is at a rest stop bathroom. Suki Stackhouse's brother, Jason.
Is that?
Suki.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He is upset about a breakup, it seems. Pulls into a roadside bathroom, falls asleep at the rest stop, and ends up in the bathroom in the morning. And then he's in a stall with a glory hole, and somebody starts talking to him from the other stall. And it turns out there's some kind of freaky entity in the other stall. And
when hasn't that happened?
Be careful with the glory hole.
Especially if you're on the New Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah.
Just ask George Michael. Oh, you can't. He's not here. So that's perfect. That's a perfect way to explain this movie from the great Rebekah McKendry, who I don't know if you know is a professor of horror movies at UCLA.
What?
Are you aware of that?
Really? Why doesn't she mention that on her
Yes,
show more?
So right now she's on what is it? All the Colors of the Dark. Is that the name of her podcast?
Colors of the Dark. That sounds
Colors of the Dark, formerly Shockwaves.
So we're at the cafeteria at Fangoria because I worked there. Fangoria.
Fango.
They got a great turkey sandwich at Fangoria. So we're
Yeah,
having lunch at
but
Fangoria with the guys from Fangoria.
She always
and then
says
I get
Fango,
some dessert
though.
because they got a great pudding selection. You get chocolate pudding at Fangoria.
It's like
Fangoria.
saying Fango is like if you're like working with James Caan, you only just call it Jimmy. Yeah, I was with Jimmy Caan.
Fango. Shepherd Pie. Fango.
Old Bobby De Niro.
Bobby. Yeah, Bobby is all right. He said he was going to move to Canada when Trump got elected, but he's still here. So, Jason, because I think the last movie we saw that Rebekah did was All the Creatures Are Stirring, the Christmas anthology.
Yes.
So here we go for round 2. What'd you think?
I thought this was much better made than her last movie. I don't know if it had a bigger. I'm guessing it had a bigger budget. I mean, J.K. Simmons and some CG, and I liked this movie. It was only 80 minutes, but it felt long. Like something was just not quite right with the pacing, though, because I was like, okay, all right, like let's get there. It was only 80 minutes, so I don't know. Maybe I was just tired or something, but I dug it. There's some weird shit in it that I don't know, I wouldn't have done, but I thought, for one guy trying to act, carrying the entire movie, probably had somebody reading J.K. Simmons lines off camera to him.
True.
I thought it was pretty solid. I liked it.
Wow. I'm shocked. I thought this would be the fight tonight.
Oh, really?
Jack, are you going to put up some fight?
No, I like it a lot.
Oh, well, I knew that, though. You're all into glory holes.
I mean, if anything, I could have used more glory hole.
If it wasn't for glory holes, Jack would just be full of poison.
I got a fever. Give me a prescription. Here's more glory hole.
Put some duct tape on those edges.
The last time I checked, we don't review a lot of movies with glory holes. So I think we got to give the people what they want.
Exactly.
A big thing that helps this movie. So I forget Jason Stackhouse's real name. He does a great job. He's in like every shot. He's got to carry the whole thing. But having J.K. Simmons as the voice of the entity is I lost you. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Colin and he wide stance toe tapping. That's the sign. Stick it in.
That's George Michael.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so J.K. Simmons' voice being the entity or whatever.
Great.
Brings this movie up, like a lot. Because he's amazing. And you're already curious as to what the hell this thing is. But just having that voice, I think if they had just had some nondescript actor, you'd be like, okay, whatever. But J.K. Simmons, you're like, wow, this has to be. He brings some weight to it. He brings some clout to it.
Yes.
Definitely.
And then you're kind of trying to see where this goes, and it would escalate. So there was some pretty cool gore and some pretty cool situations and some really funny stuff that happened in it. So overall, I enjoyed it.
Well, my wife turned to me. She goes, "What's the movie you got to watch for Monster Final Guys?" We've only been doing this forever. She can't figure out both. I said, "Oh, it's a movie about a glory hole." She goes, "Oh, is this the thing where you're going to talk about jizz mopping the entire time?" It's like, I hope not. Let's find out, though. Let's watch this together. Hold my hand. I wish Jack was here, but I'll hold your hand. Let's get together. And like you guys, I think, Jason, you liked all the Creatures of Story way more than I did.
Yeah.
Like, even with Jocelyn Donahue, I just did not like that at all. So I was like, I don't know what I'm in for here. Running time was perfect, 79 minutes. I'm like, all right, this is great. This is definitely, it was shot better, it looked better, it sounded better than the other movie.
For sure.
Getting J.K. Simmons was, I don't know what favor was called in, but that was a big time score. The entire time I watched this movie, I just wanted to cover myself in Purell.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he was vomiting, I'm like, no, don't rest your face on that toilet lid. Don't touch the toilet lid.
I was so happy when he touched his face. He's like, oh God, what am I doing?
Yeah,
I was like,
he acknowledged how gross it is.
I hate when they do that in movies, when they're just hugging the toilet while they're puking and they're not concerned at all with how gross that is.
I know. And I watched stuff like that and I was going, oh, that would make me throw up so much. I'm like, well, you are already throwing up, so what does it matter at that point? And a lot of laying on the floor and whatever. I kind of dug it. I didn't know where this damn thing was going the entire time. So if you keep me guessing, you've won the battle right there. The glory hole thing, I was just, where are we going with this? I love that artwork on the stall door. And what eventually happens with the glory hole, I thought was kind of awesome. So It's the problem with the pacing is it's a dude stuck in a bathroom by himself for the majority of the movie, with other than off-camera voice and some other guy who walks in. It's not there for long. So that makes it tough to be engaging for the entire time. But again, I really had a fun time with this movie. And it was gory when it needed to be gory. And it just made me feel icky. And if you make me feel anything at this point in 2022, fucking thumbs up, man. Big ups. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the pacing, it's definitely, it's one guy, you know, like they maybe needed to have someone else show up or something, but you know, thank God it wasn't 95 minutes of that, because then it would have been a much different tune. So getting the runtime down helped a lot for sure.
Yeah, 15 minutes would have torpedoed this entirely. Unless something fucking bizarre happened.
Yeah, at 80 minutes, I was like, okay, let's go. So yeah, it was a good call getting the time down for sure. It's funny how that works though, right? 10, 15 minutes, and I'd have been like, okay, the hell with this.
But I'm saying, unless it changed gears, you know, but they rarely do. And changing gears requires money and time, and nobody has that anymore. So what she managed to accomplish in a restroom is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's gross. It's well acted. It looks so much better than her first movie. I don't know if it's just better equipment. She learned a lot, probably all the above, but looks significantly higher quality.
It's miles different. It's like the first movie. I'm no offense. I mean, God bless her. I wish I was her. The first movie looked like a college project. This did not. This looked like a full-fledged movie by an auteur who knows what she's doing.
Yeah, they did a good job of, like, you know, you only got to see what was through the glory hole or under the stall for most of the time. Stall. And there was all that Lovecraftian stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So it worked. They showed that stuff just enough. They didn't, you know, the anticipation of seeing it, and then you'd see it real quick, and then they move on. You know, I think they made the most out of the special effects budget without overdoing it and kind of spoiling it.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only Lovecraftian and the monsters and everything, but with if you look at it, you'll go mad. So it's
don't look at the elder gods.
How do we not show it? Well, we can't. You'll die. Like, that's perfect.
Do you think Tim Myers passed out from magnesium depletion watching this movie? Should we talk to him? We should have pulled him in for this. Of any movie that we've done this year, this should have been the one that we told him to come out of retirement for.
He loves cosmic horror, but he may like glory holes even more.
Maybe if Nicolas Cage stuck his crank in the glory hole, that would have sealed the deal for him.
You want to get the spoilers? Because there's something about that glory hole I want to talk about.
Bring out the bell.
Can't
talk about glory holes without spoilers.
Spoiler alert. I think my favorite part of the whole movie is when the guy puts his schwanz in the glory hole, and then J.K. Simmons is like, "Whoa, what are you doing there? I don't want that."
That's not what I'm asking for.
It's like, I want your liver. And then when you hear that, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
I would much rather put my mule in there.
Yeah. Well, there was even something like a tentacle kind of came through a little bit earlier and opened up, and it made it look like what we all thought it was going to be. So that was really well done.
Ready to take you in for some serious docking, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Ready for the deposit is what
was that movie with the box?
Oh God, yes.
The special, yeah. That's what we were all expecting.
Yeah, sure. There was like a 10-minute buildup of, all right, is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? He's covered in fucking blood and viscera. Is this what's going to make him try to get a hard on and stick it in there?
And then going back to what you were saying earlier about being disgusted by him touching his face and all the surfaces. I think I like how J.K. Simmons would be like, oh, well, you have fecal matter and some urine and some. You want to know
17 other bacteria.
It is? Like, yeah, like.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this was funny too. When it needed to be funny, it was funny as hell.
Yeah, sometimes the abrupt cuts added to the humor, and sometimes I was just like the first time the camera pulled back into space, I did not like that. I'm guessing it was to add to the the, I don't know how you would put intergalactic, the Lovecraftian feel of it. But I was like, what the
Right.
fuck am
The
I-
cosmic
Thank you.
horror
That's
of it
what it was.
all.
So, like that one didn't work for me, but some of the comedic cuts when the guy's taking a piss, like some of that stuff was well timed.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when J.K. Simmons is like explaining something, and the other guy's taking a leak, and he's like, "Hold on."
That's what I meant when the guy's taking a piss. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, that was well done.
Now, how about the twist with
So I saw
Jason.
that twist coming very early,
very early.
but it's because I'm jaded.
Yeah, I was. That didn't surprise me at all that he had killed her. I was just more. I wanted to ask about the ending. Did you like that a serial killer made a sacrifice to save humanity? Like, I get it was for the memories, but
Well, it was because he's as worthless as everything else. So I think that was the idea. You're worthless. This whole endeavor is worthless. Just give me what you got. Give me what I need because you don't matter, and you'll be nothing at the end of time anyway.
well, but that's kind of my point. Like, what would his motivation be to do that to himself if he doesn't give a shit and is a psychopathic, narcissistic murderer?
Well, he's a narcissist, so giving up himself, it takes a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Why would he do it? Like, they tried to say it was because he took the memory of the woman away, and that's why he agreed to do it.
I think he liked her more than the others. There's something about the girl who looked like downtown Judy Brown that attracted him more than any of the previous ones.
Judy.
That's what I thought when I saw her. Or Judy Tenuta. I couldn't figure out which one.
So that was, I didn't hate it, but the whole time I was like, of all the guys.
I thought maybe he thought he was also saving himself because once he looked out the crumbling wall and saw what was coming for him, the big daddy, he's probably like, well, maybe if I do this, I can live. Fight another day.
It really seemed to me like the turning point was the memory, because after he took the memory away, that's when he said, okay, I'll do it.
Maybe he wants to remember his kills.
It's a quibble. It's not.
But maybe he doesn't want to forget his kills like all serial killers. Like they save parts of people. He had the picture. They don't want to forget that thrill of the kill.
It seemed to me more like they wanted the twist of this guy being a serial killer, and then they were trying to figure out how do we get him to do this? Which is probably what it was, because like my wife didn't see the twist coming at all. I was like, oh, really? As soon as I saw the bear, I was like, oh no, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy straight killed everybody.
Do you want me to ask Rebekah? I'll reach out to her.
I see her at the Fango cafeteria.
She's into aquatic horror, and I've written some aquatic horror stories. So I think we shared a couple of texts back and forth at one point. I'll ask.
Huh. I would be curious what you said, but yeah. Otherwise, I'm a sucker for anything Lovecraft, like anything where you get into the cosmic horror stuff. I'm down. And when you do don't look at it, you'll die. That's good stuff.
I like Jabber Caroni says Brenda looked like the ballerina ghost from Scrooged.
That's from Have Fun Storming the Castle.
That's
and
hilarious.
Tina says, I really think he just wanted out of the bathroom. He was being selfish in his sacrifice. I get that.
It was time to get out of the bathroom, so could be.
There's always a time to get the hell out of the bathroom.
It was time.
I'm going to tell you, no matter how good that deuce feels, you got to get up and go.
I get up and go. Must have got up and went.
He stayed and talked to that guy at the beginning way longer than I would have about the third thing that guy says. I'm like, will you shut the fuck up? I'm trying.
Yeah, done. Washing my hands. I'm out of here.
Oh God.
Not even washing my hands. Did I ever tell you guys I went to a rest stop in Sloatsburg off of Route 87 in New York. I'll never forget, I went to go in the stall and there was blood splattered all over the walls, all over the toilet, and just turds and clots of blood in the toilet. I was like,
did you just slowly back out?
I did. I'm like, fuck this. What happened in here? It was like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. There's been a murder. There's been a fecal suicide in here. I'll never forget it. And it smelled like 100-year-old hot dogs baking on hot pavement. It was terrible.
That was very descriptive.
It's what I assumed. It smelled like a lot of nitrites. It was terrible.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So God bless whoever was the janitor that day in Sloatsburg about
poor
15
guy.
years ago. Poor guy or poor woman. Like when you look at something like that, how does your soul not leave your body?
It's the kind of shit that makes you quit.
Right? It's like
I don't
have to
need
do
this job.
for minimum wage. I'm
Yeah,
not even really getting paid for this.
I'll live in a tent in the woods. I'm not cleaning this up.
Exactly. I will lick the assholes of capuchin monkeys in a lab before I clean this up.
Jesus Christ.
He just Danny Glover. I'm getting too old for this
Get
shit.
too old for this shit. I remember I called other people in to see it. You're like, Randall, you got to see this stall. We were like, what the hell?
That's horrific.
It was a definite. It was a splat zone. It was terrible.
Oh, God.
I always wonder, like, what happened to the person that left
Their
that?
body was behind the building.
It's a mob hit.
Is that a prolapse colon? Did you walk out of there all right? Did you die on the spot? I don't know.
Glorious, though, that they didn't bother to flush. They're like, nah.
Remember the glory hole in It's Always Sunny, Jack?
Oh yeah, that's what I think of when I think of glory.
Exactly. That's why you got to put the duct tape so it's smooth on the edges.
Amazing.
Oh, what would you rather? As we wrap up this episode,
I was going to say, do we need to play this?
We need to keep going. What would you rather? Would you rather walk into a peep show with a bunny booth or a bathroom with a glory hole?
So there's somebody in the other stall.
Oh, there's always somebody in the other stall, and it's always somebody that you don't want to see naked.
I think I'm going to go with the buddy booth.
The buddy booth. All right.
The glory hole really.
Masturbation.
I was going to say, I'm going with the glory hole. I don't need somebody jerking off beside me.
Well, you're insinuating that in this scenario that glory hole is going to come into play.
Well, they could stick it in the glory hole. Right. You could ignore it.
Can
Choose
you?
to walk away.
Can
you
you?
can put it in the glory hole. Buddy booth is you both came there for a reason.
Yeah,
It's Sophie's choice. I think I like the buddy booth because you're there. You have a common purpose. So, you know what I mean? Like you're united. Whereas the glory hole is more intrusive.
Either way, I'm mopping up that mess.
You know, it's like when you go to, you're a Met fan. So when you go to a Met game, you meet other Met fans and you're like reveling in your team. It's the same thing with the buddy booth.
Reveling. Go back, Scherzer.
Okay. Just letting each other hands, huh? That's
Jesus Christ. What the hell? Well, I took this down a path. So
what's your answer?
Oh, my answer?
I said glory hole. I just
my answer is glory hole. I can either ignore the glory hole or I can embrace the glory hole.
You would embrace it. Don't lie to me.
You know, my wife asked me that question.
Because why would you bring it up?
She said, would you ever put your dick in a glory hole? I'm like, no, I don't know what's on the other side.
You can't fool me. You brought this up to see if somebody was like, yeah, me too. Come on.
I did start this episode saying I want to hold your hand while watching this movie. So
and the buddy
might as well end it that way. So we have no idea what we're watching next week. I do highly suggest the Finnish movie The Innocents on Shudder, which I heard is very creepy and weird and good. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll have a special guest next week. Maybe we could try for it. And until then, thank you for listening to our nonsense. As always, thank you for never supporting us financially or giving us any fucking kudos or any ratings or reviews. Good night, everybody.
Jesus Christ. Bye.
Game over, man.